what it looks like inside. So this is the coconut in its natural state. So I'm just gonna shred this using a grater, and that's what we're gonna be using in our recipe to make our toto today. Okay, so as I said before, I'm going to make Jamaican Toto, which is a baked product made from coconut. So we have our shredded desiccated coconut in a bowl, and I'm going to just put all my dry ingredients in a dry clean mixing bowl. So I have my all-purpose flour, and I'm just using 3 cups of all-purpose flour at this time. So I'll measure that and put it in my bowl. I will add a teaspoon of baking powder to my flour. So for this recipe, I will use 3 teaspoons altogether, but I'm adding it gradually. So 1 teaspoon to 1 cup. And then I will sift that. Okay, yeah. So now I have my 3 cups of flour with 3 teaspoons of baking powder in my bowl. I'm going to add my spices, the other dry ingredients. So could include my cinnamon, my allspice, my nutmeg, and those will be my dry ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and add those, and I will use a teaspoon of each spices. So for cinnamon, so I have cinnamon powder, which is a spice. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon. I have my allspice, so I'm doing majority of the smaller. Let's do half. I'll do half a teaspoon of allspice. And for nutmeg, I'll do only a quarter. So we'll do just a quarter of nutmeg. Okay, so all our spices and our dry ingredients are all combined. So I will use a clean dry spoon to mix those, combine that ingredient. Okay, it's smelling really wonderful in here right now. Okay, so after we have done that, we will do our eggs and melted butter combination. So I have melted butter in here. It's about a quarter cup when it's melted, and we will have 2 eggs. So I'm just going to whisk 2 eggs and then combine that with vanilla in another bowl. Okay, so I have my 2 eggs, and I'm just gonna use my whisk. Okay. I'm next going to add my butter to the eggs. I will add some vanilla and almond essence. So I have my almond essence here. I'm just going to do just a small amount. So let's put a 1/4 teaspoon. And for vanilla, I will use a teaspoon. Okay, so here we have vanilla, and we're using a teaspoon. One more wet ingredient to be added is coconut milk or coconut juice, and we just need 1 cup. So you can use 1 cup of milk, so whatever milk you choose, you need to add 1 cup of that. Okay, so I'm adding 1 cup of coconut milk. As I said, you can use whatever milk you have available to you. Okay. I haven't added my sugar yet, so the option is you can add sugar to the dry ingredients, or you can add it to the wet ingredients, whichever way you wish to do it. I'm gonna add sugar to my wet ingredients. I will use 1.5 cups of sugar. So here is my 1 cup of brown sugar. Adding that to my wet ingredients in my bowl. Just mixing that in. I like to use brown sugar when I'm baking. It has that nice, it has more flavor, it has molasses in there, it has like it definitely adds more flavor to your baking, I think, in my opinion. So I'm adding the other 1/2 cup of sugar. And talking about molasses, you can add molasses to this recipe if you wish. You can add raisins to this recipe if you wish. We're just doing a basic toto, so it's up to you how you want to change it around depending on what you like. I'm going to add some raisins to it to add a bit of fiber and some more nutrients to it. Okay, so I'm also adding a tablespoon of Jamaican white rum. Let me use my measuring tablespoon. This is right here. So that's 15 mils, a tablespoonful of Jamaica white rum. Add a little bit more flavor. Maybe preserve it a little bit longer. I don't know. It smells good. Alright. So now that we've had all our wet ingredients, we have our sugar in there, we got our eggs in there, all of our basic ingredients is in there. Now we're just going to get our coconut. I gotta add my coconut to the end. I don't know. Does it matter? We're just gonna combine everything. So we'll add our coconut here. Supposed to be 2 cups of desiccated, shredded coconut. That looks like 2 cups to me. And then I'm just going to fold that into my dry ingredients. And we're going to add our wet ingredients in a minute. Okay, so we can make a hole in the center of the dry ingredient and then add our wet ingredient in here. I'm just going to add it all at once, and then we're going to fold that in gently. So you just need a big spoon and you want to fold it in until everything is incorporated. I would use about half a cup of raisins at this point if you wanted to put raisins in the Toto recipe. Okay, I'm gonna get my baking tray ready. So you can do this in a round bowl or a long bowl or whatever you have available to you. Okay, so I'm using a 8-inch pirate dish or a baking cloth, and then it won't have so much bumps on the top when it's baked. Okay, so we're putting that into the oven right now. It's looking really good, and I'll be back with the final product. Okay.